Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about twin flames. So I met mine at a very early age. I was 17 and he was 21. So that's young and we're still together. I just want to say, especially to the empathic people on here, that it is not always an easy journey. It truly isn't. And depending on where you each are on your journeys, you may not be meant to be together right now. But if you are with your twin flame and you feel on a soul level that you are meant to be together, I have a little advice for you. So, like I said, we met when we were 17 and I was, very shy and insecure back then. So, of course, my husband or partner back then gave me lots of things to be jealous about, or so I thought at the time. But I realized eventually, it took us 6 years to kind of get through the rough patch. We had so much passion for each other. It was mind-blowing, but also, holy, we could fight. And every time we had a fight, that was it. It's over. I can't take it anymore. But we always found our way back together. We never broke up for long. But what I realized, it took me a few years to realize it though, was that he was mirroring what I needed to look at in myself. He could bring out the worst in me. I hate to say it, I was a jealous bitch. Whew, and could I be nasty? So I wanted to have knockdown, drag-out fights, because when you bring that out in me, I don't want to stop. I was a lioness. Anyway, I did finally own it and get over it, and that improved our relationship a lot. But one thing I know is that if you know on a soul level, if you feel that your twin flame, for the most part, treats you how you should be, that you can feel that unconditional love. Like my husband and I, we had some damage to heal emotionally, and his isn't all healed yet, but I'm holding space for him because I'm rising again. I keep evolving, and he's always been there to support me, to the point that one time he even quit his job to take me to a marathon. We had planned to go, and then he was working as not a spare, but he didn't have a full-time position, so he was on call, and he got called into work the day before we were planning to go to Fredericton for the marathon. And he got packed up and headed to work, and he called me from the city and he said, "I'm taking you to Fredericton. I quit my job." I was like, what the hell are you doing? But that's how much he loves me. He has always loved me unconditionally. He has always chose me first. No matter what struggles we have been through, he has always been there for me. And I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that he always will be. When I had my spiritual awakening, I had a really rough time. I wanted to change him so bad. I wanted him to be where I was at. And I think he thought I was a little bit crazy. Hell, I thought I was crazy. But what I discovered after we, again, were fighting because, I wasn't getting my own way, so I was being a cranky little bitch. I kind of stomped off mad. We were out for a walk in the woods like I am now with my dogs. They're here somewhere. I just stomped off mad because he wouldn't talk to me. He said everything I say is wrong. So I stomped off and I was like, this is it, we're done. And I never ever felt that way. Sometimes I would look at him and think, when our kids were small especially, because our lives revolved around our boys, I wondered, would there be an us after the kids moved out? Do we have anything left in common? But we did. And also, when we were really young and decided to have a family, I got married when I was 23, and I was so certain when I got married at 23 that he was the one forever, and he truly is. But financially, we were not very well off. But when we decided to have a second child, prior to that I was working part-time, but when we decided to have a second child, I wanted to stay home and raise them. So he agreed, even though it meant that we were going to struggle financially. He supported me in that decision, and I truly believe it was the best decision I ever made for my boys. Even though there were many people around me, again, that made the empath in me feel like she was unworthy. What's the first thing people say to you when they meet you, strangers? What do you do? What do you do for a living? So I would say I was a stay-at-home mom. Oh, you don't work? Huh. It was way easier to go to work than be home 24/7 with my children. Ask any mother. They know. But my husband supported me in that. And he has supported me in every venture that I have taken on since. I've done many things over the years, but didn't stick with them, start them, and stop. He would support me financially and emotionally, especially my running days. He was there at almost every race, the finish line. For a few years there, we took every weekend and we were on the road traveling just for me. He did that for me. He was always at the finish line with a great big smile and hug, and he would take care of me because sometimes after a marathon I wasn't very well. It takes a lot out of you physically, but he was always there for me. But when I was at my worst, like when I got really sick, a stone fell out of my wedding band, and it was just a cheap one because we were very young and poor when we got married. But you know, he didn't, like, it wasn't worth getting repaired. Like, it really wasn't. It probably would have cost more to try to put that tiny stone back in than it would have to buy a new ring. So anyway, he took me to the jewelry store and he wanted me to pick out a ring, and I was questioning him. I'm like, why are you doing this? I could be dead in a month or so. I'm dying. I felt like I was dying. I knew I was dying, but he knew better. He knew, even though I didn't know, that somehow all was going to be well and I would survive it. I would find my way out of this darkness, and I did. And he was my rock. He has always been my rock. He has loved me unconditionally all these years. And I'm not saying that we didn't have struggles, because everyone does. Like, we're not the same people. So of course, you know, there are things that trigger us and upset us, but we have always found our way back to each other. And never, like when we committed to each other, like we lived together a year before we got married, and never after we moved in together did I think, I'm leaving, I'm never coming back, except for when I had my spiritual awakening, because I thought, oh, this is brutal. So I guess this message really is for those of you that are going on your ascension journey and you are with your twin flames, and they may not be at the same place, because usually they're not. Hold space for them. Treat them the way you want to be treated, because that's what I decided to do when I decided, no, this is my soulmate, my twin flame. I cannot leave him. So what I did was I went home and I just stopped being the cranky bitch that I was being, and I started treating him exactly how I wanted to be treated. And you know what? He stepped up. He started treating me the way I wanted to be treated. But when I was standing there with my face on, my hands on my hips, saying, this is what I want you to do, of course he was fighting. Nobody likes to be told what to do. But when my energy rose and I started giving him the love and affection that I wanted, he stepped up and gave it back to me. So what I want those of you out there to know, especially you empaths that are with your twin flames or meeting your twin flames now, they're meant to trigger us. They are holding a mirror up to us, and they are shining a light on our darkness. And it's gonna be a really rocky ride if you don't want to see and fix that darkness. If you don't want to heal that in yourself, the two of you are gonna have knockdown, drag out fights. Because that's what your twin flame is here for, to heal you. So, and once you realize that, like, okay, like once I realized, like, oh, I'm so jealous. And I guess back then I didn't realize jealousy works the opposite way you want, the way you want it to. Like, you know, if I would have been him, I'd have been cheating on me all the time. I accused him of it all the time. And he was such a good guy. He still is. I just love him to pieces. I don't know if he knows how much sometimes, though I do try to show him. And I'm not sure what he's going to think of this video. He's very private, as am I. I don't talk to anyone about our relationship. I always had the mindset that if I share this beautiful thing with people, they'll destroy it. They'll ruin it. So I'm a very private person, but I felt called to share about twin flames today because a lot of us are finding our twin flames right now and we're struggling with them. So my advice here is, instead of fighting with them, look inward. Shine a light on what it is they're showing you. Like, what is it in you that needs to be healed? If you heal it, your relationship is going to be so freaking amazing. And the other reason I'm making this video is because since I've been putting myself out on social media, I have men blowing up my inbox and I've had enough. They don't take no for an answer. So from now on, I'm not even speaking, but I'm going to send them this video and show them how happily married I am and how off limits I am. Anyway, I hope this helps. Have a great day.